Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're doing Vanessa's nails and we're doing this kind of like soft, white, pearlescent, aquatic fairy vibe. So these are the images that she sent me that she wanted as like her reference, the ones kind of around the border of the little design here, and then this is me drawing it up. I know you guys are liking me including these, so this is how we got there. So I'm removing her Blythe nails, which I'm so sad to see these go because I loved them so much. Have these been in a vlog yet? These actually haven't, at the time of uploading this video, these haven't been in a vlog yet. I'm not gonna upload an individual video for them just because the whole process of it is rather repetitive, but they will be in a future vlog, so keep an eye out for that. I recently got something called a Nail Pop nail sticker printer, which no, I don't think I've talked about that yet in a video. Basically I am printing out custom nail stickers. So I printed out these Blythe doll photos. I could literally print out a photo of myself and put them on my nails if I wanted to. But so that's been really fun playing with that. I'm starting to offer it to clients as well. So we'll get into that in future videos. You'll see how it's all done. But it's been really fun. So remove that set from Vanessa and then just starting her prep, pushing back her cuticles, and then using this little lightning bit and getting up under the cuticle there, lifting it up, exfoliating any dead tissue off of the nail plate. So that way we don't have any lifting of the product later on. And then it's also lifting up that dead skin and I'm able to nip it off afterwards. I'm doing a bit of a longer video today. I felt like as I was doing my voiceover for my last video, the mystery manual on my client, I felt like I was running a bit of a race trying to do my voiceover to fit within the time frame. I mean, that video I cut it down quite short for being quite design heavy. I think I cut it down to just over 10 minutes, but trying to explain what was happening in the video felt like I was like, okay, and then we're gonna do this, oh, and then now we're doing this, and now we're doing this. So I've slowed things down today. I've included longer shots so that way I could really like talk through things, because I do want these videos to be educational and to make sure I'm getting in all the points that I want to get across. So let me know if you guys prefer this being a bit longer but being a little bit more thorough, because I know when I'm watching nail videos, I want like a middle ground. I don't want to hear everything and everyone's life story every single video, but I also want to know exactly what people are doing, exactly what products they're using. So that's what I'm trying to achieve here. But now we're just filing down Vanessa's nails. She wants to keep a lot of the length, which sometimes we do like longer nails, and then she just is a little bit more cautious throughout the month. So we kept a lot of her length and we're going for more of an almondy shape. So I always recommend checking in with your client on the middle finger to say, how long do you want your nails? Clients always want to jump to the pinky and be like, I want my nails this short, and show you on the pinky. And then if you're doing the length matching on the other fingers, the rest of the fingers to match your pinky will come a lot shorter, and I don't think clients realize that. So I always get people to show me on their middle finger, and then I start with the middle finger. I file down a little bit less than they've asked, so then we have a little bit more room. I show it to them, ask, okay, what do you think about this length? And then I'll adjust accordingly, take it down a bit more, or they'll leave it that length and allow it to go a little bit shorter while I'm shaping. So that's my recommendation in terms of like getting the length right, and then also just like matching throughout all the nails. I check in a bunch of times throughout the process, so I'll start by checking length at the beginning when I'm doing the initial file. I check again when I'm shaping. I apply the builder gel, I check again, just because you do end up losing length as you're reshaping, that kind of thing. So you want to make sure you're as accurate as you can be. But I'm just using a sanding band, going over the natural nail, roughing that up, and then smoothing out as well over top of the gel products. And after wiping and cleaning that down with some alcohol, I'm going in with the Zombie Base Coat. You guys know I love a zombie base. I love a zombie top. Zombie base, it's a bit of a thicker base coat, and it just adheres really well, I'd say, to most nail plates. I probably have 2 clients, not even. I did have 2 clients. Every once in a while I'll have like a client, like a hairstylist or an RMT who's super heavy-handed, who I'll switch to a different base coat. and I usually switch to the Diami Feel So Good base because that one is just crazy. It adheres to everything and everyone. But the zombie base coat really works on the majority of people, which is great. And then I'm going in with the Coolier builder base. Which brand is this? I can't remember. I'll have everything linked below. But basically there are 3 different consistencies. There's a lighter consistency, kind of a mid, which I believe is called thick, and then there's the strongest one, which is called hold. I'm using thick here. You get a lot of control from it, but you also get some good self-leveling, which I think is really handy when you're doing like overlays or builder fills or whatever. I'll usually opt for the thinnest one because it still is quite thick if I'm just doing a thinner overlay, but because Vanessa's got some good length going on, and I did want to build up a bit of a stronger apex because of us keeping the length, I ended up opting for like the mid consistency. The thickest one I don't often use. I'll use it if I'm like building out an extension because it is quite thick. It takes a lot longer to self-level, and I prefer it as like a base of an extension versus an overlay, or if I'm doing a really long extension, that sort of thing. But yeah, I'm just going over, I'm applying the slip layer, so just a thin layer, not curing that, and then I'm going in, grabbing a bead of the gel and letting that kind of like hang off the tip of my brush and placing that bead and focusing it in that kind of back area where there was no product because the builder gel from before had grown out, and then using my little detail liner brush and going in, smoothing out the sides and getting the product kind of closer to where I want it, so then there's less filing in the end. With the Coolier gel, one thing to note is it is extremely sticky. There's like a huge layer of uncured gel that remains on top that has to be wiped off with alcohol. It's like, it doesn't make a difference. It's just like the stickiest I've used, or the thickest uncured, like, what's it called? Tacky layer. So I'll oftentimes go in and wipe that down twice with alcohol just to get it off before I start filing. And then I'm just filing the shape here. So I'm going around the cuticle edge, going down the sidewalls, smoothing everything out, making sure the apex is in the right area, making sure we haven't lost our shape at all. And then after I've filed, I'm going over and I'm buffing that with a light buff. This is just a buffer. I like these buffers actually a lot. I get them on Amazon. They're in my Amazon storefront, which is linked in my description. And I just cut them in half because you don't really need a whole one. And so it ends up being pretty good cost per buffer. And I don't like the little tiny squares because I can't get a good grip, not good leverage on that. And then I'm just going over with a base coat after I've cleaned everything up. And this is just to smooth out the surface. I find it super helpful for like product application after this. It keeps everything smooth. And then also if I've overfiled any areas or I've taken it back a little bit too far when I've been filing the builder gel, it kind of just fills in those spots. And then we're starting off with our design. So I'm going in with a white syrup gel here on the pinky. It's super soft and cute. And then everyone's favorite, Au Naturel by the Gel Bottle. This is everyone's favorite nude. All my clients love it so much. And then another layer of the sheer white syrup and another layer of Au Naturel. This is basically the color palette of this set. It's nude, it's sheer white, and some glitter as well. So I'm just applying a thin base coat, or a thin base layer of all of these colors, and then I'm going to go in with a second coat on a few of the nails. So I'm going to do a second coat on this white here. And then Au Naturel. But I did skip the middle finger because I'm going to be applying other stuff on top of that, and I only needed a light layer, and I'm skipping the thumb as well. Now on the pinky, this is one of my favorite glitters of all time. It's from Show Me. I don't even know how to say the collection name, Onric? I don't know, but it's one of my favorite glitters. I have a backup bottle of it as well. So I'm using that. It's got like this almost reddish pearl base to it while having like these really soft rainbow glitters. I am going to be airbrushing both the index on this hand and the pinky on the other hand, so I do apply a matte coat to those fingernails. And you definitely want to apply a matte base when you're using airbrush gel, or airbrush paint, I'm sorry. It just provides a better base for the airbrush to adhere to. And then I'm applying a second layer of the syrup white here, and then I'm going in with some of the Stellar Gel Blooming Gel, which is a thicker blooming gel. I'll have that linked down below, and I'm applying it with a dotting tool, and you can see on top of the wet syrup gel, it's creating this kind of pool-like effect. It's like separating, I'm gonna do it again here, and it kind of pushes all the white syrup gel that we just applied into like little, I don't know how to describe it, but you guys will see. I'll do it again. And it just creates, it looks like as if you're looking at like a pool, that kind of like light reflecting vibe. It's actually really cool to do like with like a light blue base, and then you do like the white on top for an actual pool effect, but this just kind of gave like soft aquatic, slightly alien fairy vibes. Now just wiping the sticky layer off of this middle finger, going in with my white Mostive alcohol ink, and I'm just drawing out the rough shape of a butterfly. And then adding some glitter gel to that nail, and then dolloping some into the butterfly because I wanted the butterfly to sparkle. And I'm just using a white airbrush paint. The airbrush paint is by One Air. I have that linked in the description bar down below. I get it from Glam Nails. You can use code Rebecca for 10% off. And then on that glitter pinky, it was a little bit spiky from some of the glitter sticking out, so I'm just applying a base coat on top of that. And then after it's cured, I'm just gonna like file and buff the base coat on top so it's a little bit more smooth, and then I can kind of fix the shape as well. I'm also using that same base coat to cap in the airbrush that I've just applied, and I'm repeating the process of the glitter capping on the index finger as well, so I can buff that and not have any pokey bits. So I'm just going ahead and doing that. You do have to be careful when you're applying glitter because oftentimes you can lose your shape because it's not just a thin, you know, liquid coat. You got stuff in there. It's gonna do what it wants. I'm just applying some of that glitter around the kind of like aura. And I just kept in that glitter nail actually with a matte coat. And now on this next finger, I'm using a chrome gel, like non-wipe top coat, and applying a white chrome on top of that for a little bit of a fairy effect. Whenever you're working with chrome or airbrush paints, you always want to make sure you're filing your free edge. If you have any product on the free edge that isn't gel, it'll cause chipping and lifting. So you want to make sure to file around that free edge for sure, so you create a rough surface for your gel to stick to. And I'm just using like, I think it's the the Mayo Easy Clear gel on top of this. I have a designated one for chrome, so I'm just using that. And then I'm using a bit of the Gel Bottles Silver Mirror Chrome paint to do this little like butterfly design. The chrome paint is good, it's fine. I prefer the one from Sissy personally, but I just have this jar of it, so I'm going to use that up before I order my next one. But I'm just kind of like squiggly lining it. I want it to be a little bit of a messy butterfly. Also, sorry, my hands are in the way a bit today. And then I grabbed some of the Cat's Me gel lime gel, yeah. And I'm applied like a ball of that to Vanessa's nail. And I'm just using my silicone tool to smoosh it around the edges and really smooth it out so I don't have like this big ridge. And then I'm kind of like pressing it down and smoothing it out a little bit across the top and getting rid of some of the excess gel because I did put a bit too much. And then I'm using the back end of that silicone tool and kind of smushing this like patterny design. This nail, when done with like a blue gel, again looks kind of like water pool vibes, but it ended up looking a bit almost like barnacle vibes, like underwater, which I was quite pleased with. So that's how you kind of get that effect. We're gonna add more to that, and I'm just using the Crazy Top thick top coat from Gin B to add just little dewdrops all over those nails. And because I put the base coat down, it's all non-wipe, so everything on that nail once it has cured is done. Here I'm just using the white from Stellar Gel, and I'm just doing a random shape on the nail, and then I'm grabbing some soap bubbles and applying that on top of the nail for the soap bubble effect. At this point I had actually dropped the Stellar Gel onto the ground and was trying to pick that up and not spill gel everywhere. I repeated that process on the other hand as well, on this finger. I definitely recommend, if you're doing the soap bubbles, using something like I was using 2 straws to apply it and almost holding them like chopsticks and placing the bubbles on top of the nails. Is way easier than any other technique that I've tried, so highly recommend doing it in that way. With the soap bubbles, you did quickly see I did a little bit of a buff on top because it was quite pokey and quite high, which I had no intentions of encapsulating it at that point, so I didn't want it to be too tall and sticking up. So that was just to kind of smooth things out a little bit. And then I'm just using that Stellar Gel again. It's a super opaque white gel and it holds its place pretty well. Not quite as stiff as like a painting gel, but it holds its place really well, so I'm able to do some nail art with that. So I'm using that to draw out this little design. It's going to be a little bit like butterfly wing-esque. And I've just grabbed this is actually a polygel brush from a cart, and I'm just using that to clean up a bit of the design that I'm not super stoked on. It's always great to have like a little cleanup brush that you can do things like that. So just perfecting that a little bit before sending it into the light. And then I'm just going over that kind of like barnacle vibe nail. I'm just on the high points of that 3D gel, I'm just running my brush along the top. And that's what I was doing. I was creating those shapes with that back end of the brush, so then I can add the gel to the tip of all the shapes there. It really creates a super cool effect. And then I'm using a bit of the McCart Rhinestone Gel, and I'm applying some pearls to the nails. These are just, I get a lot of questions about the pearls actually. These are from Amazon. I have them linked in my Amazon storefront in the description box. But they're just like, yeah, beautiful, like kind of iridescent pearls. You do have to be careful. The packaging, it's not super obvious which side is up and which side is down. So naturally, the very first time I opened it upside down and spilled it. As I would. That's a very me thing to do. But I'm just going to repeating that kind of same butterfly effect style on this nail. Same wing kind of vibe. I actually find it easiest to do the slim outline and then kind of map out where you want everything to be divided and then fill in like kind of corners and stuff from there. I think that is the best method, and then also that helps you keep kind of the structure of the design that you wanted to do without it getting too bulky or your lines too thick. Again, using some more of that McCart gel and applying some more of the pearls. This rhinestone gel is super strong. I oscillate between this for like small placements like this, and then I use the Jinbei Ivy Fix gel usually for things that I want to like dunk. I love having a tub of like fixed gel that I can dunk charms into. And then going in with my Diami Pin Cure light just to flash cure everything into place. Which, if you don't have a pin cure light, highly recommend. Makes the biggest difference. You're not sending your clients in and out of the light, and then you can quickly flash cure things without worrying about things moving around on you. And they are rechargeable. And actually, clients love a flash cure light. I don't know what it is, but they're always like, nail party, it's like a disco. Which it is like a disco. One question I often get actually is how to keep the finish on pearls and especially silver beads. So you can just see I applied some more of that Macart gel to the top of the pearls. And so I do that, and then I like swirl it around and make sure it goes all the way around the charm or whatever I'm trying to protect. But this provides an extra layer of protection. If you're hitting your hands off things, like whatever your client is, the gel will be there. So if anything's gonna wear down, it's the gel and not the finish off of your pearls. So definitely recommend doing something like that. And I'm just using the zombie top coat here, and I'm applying the finishing top coat, and here we are. Here's the finished product. Let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll catch you in the next one.